Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah, coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. We're going to get in here real quick, some more information. As you can see, it's like we're doing two things at once on a consistent basis now, bringing out new information that the Most High is giving us, and also going after the other nations that have held us in captivity for such a long time. We're going to get into this book right here, Keys of Enoch. Okay? Keys of Enoch, all right? First published in 1973. Now, what's happening is, as the Most High gives us more information about like ley lines, and power, and how this is all working into our awakening, this book here starts to make more sense. We're talking about Atlantis and a lot of the different, things that are happening. Ley lines. I actually got that information for me initially out of this book. And some of the stuff was over my head, but through the power of the Most High, He's giving me more understanding, and He's leading more people to, help and give more understanding as well. So something we're going to talk about right now is a new Atlantis, and how America is supposed to take the place of Atlantis. And it's actually in this book, and we're going to read a little bit about it, okay? I'm going to start right here. Around 19, okay? It says, the pyramids were used as initiation points for the vehicles of the dove, those who reign with the Brotherhood of Light. Thus, the return of the dove is directed to the previous initiation points built along pyramidal grids. I'll say pyramidal grids, okay? In order for us to understand the present cycle of evolution, we must understand how the brotherhoods are still connected to the pyramids in Egypt as the continuation of Joseph, Moses, and Jesus. Okay, now we already know that pretty much that didn't happen there. Remember, of course, Egypt. There is no proof, or very little proof, of a lot of these things happening over there. So a lot of these places were definitely probably over here. But that's something for another video at another time. Okay. So we got the Joseph, Moses, and Jesus's initiation into the governing of the special species, the Israelites, who were to be the pyramid builders of consciousness for the name of Yahweh, to lead the nations of man away from the false gods of this world, as the gathering of the 12 sparks into the brotherhood of light. And Enoch explained to me that just as Egypt represents the mathematical, astronomical, pyramidal foundation of the earth, exemplified in the Great Pyramid at Giza, so Israel, represents the spiritual capstone of light, exemplified by the peoplehood of Israel. All right. Who received the 10 Commandments while traveling through the geophysical pyramid of the Sinai Peninsula. When humanity can find the spiritual Israel within, and the knowledge and alignments of the Great Pyramid without, they can place the capstone of spiritual freedom upon the foundations of the world. Okay. Skip on down to 24. When humanity can, let's see here, center the vortex jaw along the magnet meridians of the earth, they will see how the Great Pyramid gives the points of survival, as well as the points of contact used by the Markaba vehicles to program the next exodus out of the old meridians of time into the new consciousness space of rebirth within the planispheres. So he's got like a whole lot going on here. Enoch explained that when mankind opens the pyramid sphinx and uses the consciousness meridians which connect the 12 energy vortices of the world to the pyramid sphinx, he will have reached a threshold where the energy vehicles can return and take mankind to the next evolutionary station. In fact, the Great Pyramid is built on such a point where the magnetic fields under the earth, okay, those on the surface of the earth and those on the celestial fields all across, so that the fields of alignment are direct. So now we're starting to get more into the ley lines, how things are already set up. And it's just funny how like, all of a sudden now they're kind of talking about these kinds of things, or we're able to actually make those connections, okay? Let's see here. 27. These magnetic fields are aligned through areals of magnetic energy, which mark the points where energies from the outer space pour into the Earth's surface. These areals are balanced on the Earth by the magnetic north and south pole. And at a time when tremendous solar flare movements bombard these magnetic points of the Earth, now they've been talking about a lot of these happening right now, these solar flares, okay? By the magnetic points of the Earth, the fields of the Earth will be set in cataclysmic imbalance, spinning the shell of the Earth to new magnetic meridians, which find their balance equatorially. Once man understands how the Great Pyramid is a geophysical model for these magnetic changes in the Earth, he will recognize that the pyramid is the actual foundation stone placed directly in the center of the Earth. The ancient astrophysical texts speak of previous geophysical tumbles which happened during great cataclysms, when, for example, the area commonly called the Sudan Basin was at the North Pole. And when we connect the natural magnetic fields with the shifting magnetic fields, we can understand how the natural time warps already exist within different focal points of the Earth's energy index. The higher intelligence coming from a galactic light threshold needs only to draw lines between given vortex jaw on the Earth and moving magnetic vortices in the air streams in order to set in motion all of the spectrum controls necessary to establish their coordinates. Let's skip on down to 34. The spiritual higher mind draws lines between the Earth's pyramidal zones existing on the magnetic horizon and its own threshold controls, thus allowing it to interact the Earth's pyramidal forces with the celestial pyramid, Orion. This activity must take place in order to secure the time warps as points of physical rebirth. When this takes place, the keystone of or the pyramidal color cap can come down upon the pyramid vortex jaw. All right, so now this is the main point here I wanted to share with you guys. For example, the higher intelligence is coming into the ocean through the pyramid 5 energy configuration of the Bermuda Triangle and is making use of the ocean shelf, which is there from the previous Atlantean age, preparing America to become the new Atlantis. So this is here talking about America becoming the new Atlantis, which kind of makes sense when it talks about the dove returning to America. So it seems as if, like I said, there's a whole lot of things going on. A whole lot of things, as far as like these ley lines and its power and its, and these pyramids and these definite, all these different points of energy all coming together to make America the new Atlantis. And remember, we talked about sweeping the other nations off the land, regenerating our planet, our Earth here, so it starts to actually produce even more. The Most High is getting them off the lands and then protecting us here in the land, and us being protected here and growing and having a great time. Then it talks about also, if you remember from the ladder of Jacob, it seems like there was a destruction of the other nations, and then it was talking about a time of us having a lot of babies and things like that. So it seems as if like we're going to be protected, and it also talks about in the scriptures in Isaiah, when we're going to be happy, we're going to be eating, and the rest of the world's going to be hungry. We're going to be protected, and they're going to be going through through destruction. So it seems as if, kind of like a recreating of another Eden with his people being separated from the other nations. So it's all starting to make sense and come together. And so this information, hey, if you got the understanding of this, put it in the comment section. If you got the understanding of this information here, make a video, share it with us. So, because we're getting more understanding through these books right here, it starts to come together slowly but surely. We're getting more understanding. So again, right there it says, let's read 36 again. For example, the higher intelligence is coming into the ocean through the pyramid 5 energy configuration of the Bermuda Triangle. And I know that the Bermuda Triangle had something to do with Atlantis and everything else that I've seen, and them actually referring to, Atlantis and the Bermuda Triangle. If you got more information, bring it out for us, okay? Okay, Bermuda Triangle, and is making use of the ocean shelf, which is there from the previous Atlantean age. Okay, preparing America to become the new Atlantis. These previous Atlantean fields of crystalline energy are being reactivated as centers of energy. Focus on the planet, which will be used once the Earth's inner core of neutral matter has been heaved up. I think I took a little bit bigger picture of this section right here, okay? New Atlantean centers will be activated from the Bermuda Triangle, the Great Salt Sea, and USA, Hebron, which are already known as pyramid areas by the higher evolution. These areas will be used by the Jerusalem command from Orion to open the chambers of the earth and provide for the shifting of consciousness to the Americas. The next home of the dove, as the Father's program shifts from the Middle East to the Middle West. The coming return of the dove will also use artificial time warp areas so as to touch upon the islands of light, where the righteous will gather, who are not in the, I don't have the book on me right now. Okay, we'll stop right there for now. So this is more information about a shift from the old Atlantean areas to the new. You can feel the shift going on right now. You can feel the shift of the knowledge and understanding that the Most High has given us. So as we can see right now, the Most High is moving. I just wanted to share a few pages with you. Give you the opportunity to kind of read, do some studying, and then bring some more information back to the comment section. Give us some more understanding. Bring some of your own expertise into this, this subject, and bring it out for the nation. All right? All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Egnaj Yahweh Shai. Shalom.